The 2024-25 Women's Super League season is here. In this video, we give our full tale predictions for the campaign, as well as a few bonus awards at the end of the video. I'm sure you disagree with all of our predictions, so let us know yours in the comments below. This is our 2024-25 Women's Super League predictions. Alright, it is that time again then. Predictions time. Harry, are you feeling optimistic about your predictions this year?
I think so. I think I'm going to be pretty close, but I did say that last year and I wasn't very close.
You say that every year and then end up miles off, so it bodes well.
We'll see what happens. But I think I've put together a pretty decent predictions this year.
Yeah, so whatever we say today, imagine the opposite is going to happen. Should be a good season though. Let's get underway then. Harry, who are you relegating from the WSL? Who do you think will go down this season?
Well, I think, I know I've put West Ham to get relegated this season. I think they had it was a tough season last year. I think they got a bit fortunate that Bristol City was so poor that they weren't really any threat. I think they've had a really tough window. They bought some players in on deadline day, yes, but I still don't think West Ham have had the window that they're really looking for. I don't think they've got enough. I think Palace come up and they look strong. Other teams around them in that relegation fight have all got stronger. For me, I think it's West Ham's year to get relegated.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and in 12th place, I've also put West Ham. It's tough because I think there are some good players there, and Ryan Skinner's a good coach, and they've fought well in recent seasons, but as you say, the business this window hasn't really been good enough, and when I look at the sides around them, I think that every team has a player that can drag them out of that battle, apart from probably West Ham. I like some of their players. I like Ueke. I think she's a really good striker. I really like Vivian Asai as well. Gorey had a really good season last year, but they lack depth. They lack overall quality, and I just think that there's just not going to be any consistency in performance that I don't think they'll be able to get many points under their belt. It's going to be a tough season. I don't think there's much to split them with who I've put 11th, but I think they'll just go down.
Yeah, very much so. And that's the thing, I don't think it'll be a Bristol City situation where they're relegated with a few game weeks to go. I think it will be a really tight fight that goes right down to the wire. And I think they're going to be in a fight with a few teams. And the first of them is Everton. I've put Everton in 11th. I think, I don't know, they've improved in areas. But again, I don't see a massive improvement on last season. And it's just one of those where, do I see them getting the results they need? Not really. I do think they'll do enough to beat West Ham, and the reason I've put those two the way around they are is because when I look at it, I think Everton will beat West Ham when they play them, whether that's home or away. I think there's more chance that Everton do beat them. So I just think Everton, they're going to have a little bit more than West Ham. They'll just do enough to stay in the league.
Yeah, fair enough. I've also gone for Everton in 11th place. I think there'll be quite a gap between Everton and West Ham and then the other sides. I just look at those two teams and I don't see the quality there. I think Everton are an all-round better outfit. Probably less standout players than West Ham, but an all-round better outfit, and I think that'll just keep them up. I think Brian Sorensen's a really good manager as well, so for me, Everton will just beat the drop, but it's close between them and West Ham.
Yeah, very much so. I think we're then on for a three-way fight between obviously West Ham and Everton, who I said, and Crystal Palace coming up, but they won't care that they're in the fight if they end up finishing 10th. I've put them 10th because I think they look really positive. They've made some really smart transfers. I think they're coming into the league. I think they're gonna surprise a few people. I really do. They're not gonna turn up like we have seen, Bristol City, Reading, all the teams in the last few years, and go straight back down. I think Crystal Palace have got enough to really fight in this league and stay in the league pretty comfortably in the end. I think they've got a manager who knows the league. Yes, she hasn't managed as a main manager, but she's been involved with coaching staff in the league, and she knows how the league works. I'm expecting big things from Crystal Palace, and I think they're going to deliver this season.
Yeah, fair enough. In 10th, I've also gone Crystal Palace. It's getting really boring at this point, isn't it? We're just going for the same. But yeah, I think this bottom three sort of speaks for itself. Crystal Palace have just come up. I don't see them going any higher. I was tempted to put them 9th because I'm not sure about the quality of the team I put in 9th, and there's a lot of unknowns there. But I've gone for Palace in 10th. I think they're a really good side. They've invested well this summer. They've recruited well. I think Lexi Potter's a really good player. We saw that in the Women's Championship last season. I think Brooke Aspin proved her worth in the WSL last campaign. And that side who looked to play better football, I think, should do even better. I think signing Poppy Pritchard on loan on deadline day was a fantastic bit of business. So they've done some really good stuff. And, of course, holding on to the players that got them up from the Championship last season. India Page-Riley, another signing I like a lot. So yeah, I think Crystal Palace have put themselves in a good position. I think a lot of people will when they're doing their predictions, will just put them 12th because they've just come up, and that's what tends to happen. But I think they've done really well this summer, and I think they will be competitive. I think they're a good team.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then I'm kind of in my head. I've got the bottom three will kind of be a step off the next batch of teams coming up. I think the next team that will be in ninth is Leicester. And I know this is going to be surprising. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And I mean, Mikel is a great manager. I think they've made some really good signings. But I just think it's going to take too long to work out. I think it will work out eventually. And if Leicester stick with her, maybe next season or towards the end of the season, they'll pick up some points. But I just think they're going to start kind of similar to how Villa were last year. Obviously, I know it's different circumstances because Villa still had the same manager and things. But I think they'll start really slow. And they will eventually get it back, but they would have started so slow that it'll be, they won't be able to get higher than ninth. I think ninth will be a pretty decent finish. I think they will expect though to push on further, and I think they should stick with Mikel even though they did finish ninth. But yeah, I just look at the quality around them. I think they're more experienced and they know how they're going to play. I just think it's going to take too long for Leicester to get going, but once they do get going, I think they could be a decent outfit.
Yeah, I mean, I strongly disagree with you, but that's the point of predictions. We're always going to have a difference in opinion. I'll get to Leicester much later in this video, but in ninth, I have gone Brighton. I think Dario Vidicic coming in is going to be interesting to see what he does this season. I don't think a team can lose their best goal scorer and a real only goal scorer and then be okay. I don't think they've done enough. I don't think Michelle Aguimang's going to come in and replace the goals at the same volume that Turland scored them. I think she's a good player, but I don't think she replaces that perfectly. I love Fran Kirby, but it'll be useful for the leadership and experience in the dressing room. But on the pitch, we saw her decline at Chelsea last season, and I have some doubts about her ability to play at the top level. I think she'll still have good games and still show her quality at times, but to do it on a consistent basis is another matter. I think that Kankovic, though, is a very good signing. They have done some good business this window, Brighton. Bruno Villamayer, another one I think will add a lot of attacking talent, but I don't think they're going to be able to progress. I did have them 10th at one point, so I'm an arm between them and Crystal Palace. I think that they'll just have enough, especially with Aguimang coming in, because I think eventually she will grow into that role. But yeah, to start the season, I think they will start slow, so I've got them 9th.
Yeah, fair enough. You put Brighton 9th, I've put Brighton 8th. I think as much as I think you're right, they're going to miss Turland's goals. I think they've brought in enough players where I don't think one player will score as many as Turland did, but I think they've got enough players to cover the goals between them. Because if Kirby, Kankovic, Villamayer, Aguimang, if they all get 3 or 4 or 5 each, then suddenly they've done pretty well to replace Turland's output there. But yeah, I think they go a decent campaign. They're going to be ahead of the teams below them. I mean, that's obvious, but you know what I mean. I think they won't quite be with the top 7 though. I think there'll be another bit of a split there. But overall, I think that we'll see. I expect it'll be a season where we see some really decent games from Brighton, but we're also going to see some very stupid results.
Yeah, fair enough. In 8th then, and this is my first big controversial one. I think this will split opinion massively. I've gone Tottenham.
Wow.
I've gone Tottenham. This doesn't come from a place of bias. I know people will point to the badge on my chest and say, "Oh, you're just biased on Tottenham." It's not that. I think they've taken a huge step backwards this season, while everyone below them has taken a huge step forwards. They finished 6th last year, and when you consider that they've lost Chelsea Beasley, they've lost Clinton as well, I just don't see where the improvements are. I know Hayley Raso is a very good player, but does she replace the quality and output that was provided by Bizet and Clinton? Probably not. I still think there's some defensive worries to be concerned about, and while Villaham got some big results last season, I don't think they're going to beat Arsenal again. I just don't see those results going their way again this season. I don't think they've done enough in the market to make up for what they've lost. Wimberg and Jessica Naz, I think, are really good players, but they've got a lot of ground to make up. They've got a lot of improvement to do if they're going to be on the level of Clinton and Bizet, who they've lost. So, and their first 5 games, really difficult. I think they'll get off to a bad start, and that can hit morale in the squad as well. So I think Tottenham in 8th, while people will say that's a mental prediction, I don't think it's going to be too far off the truth. I don't think they're going to have a good campaign this year. They've lost too much, not replaced it in my opinion.
Fair enough. Wow. 7th, I have gone Aston Villa. I think for Villa, the reason I put them in 7th is because I think they've got the overall squad quality to beat the sides below them. I just think the sides above them, that Villa in a year of change, new management, new signings. I think the top 6 is just a step too far. So for me, 7th is perfect, and I think they'll be very solid in 7th for the majority of the season. Really, it'll be one of those where they find their place and they kind of stay in their place. They'll beat the teams they need to beat. They'll lose to the teams that are better than them at the moment. I'm expecting a pretty mediocre season for Villa, but I think Villa fans will take that as more of a season of stability, stabilising themselves, in mid-table of the WSL, and the next season they can push on. And once DePaul and the team have gelled, they can push on next campaign. I think this season though they'll be looking for stability because last year wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, my table's a little bit like the Noah's Ark right now because I've got 11th and 12th, I think they'll be close, 2 and 2. 9th and 10th, I think they'll be very close. 7th and 8th, I think will be very close. So in 7th, I've also gone Aston Villa, and I think it'll be tight between them and Tottenham. I look at what Villa have done this window, though, and I think it's a huge positive step. I was even tempted to put them ahead of 6th, so maybe they'll be closer than I've just said, but I think, Missy Boken's really exciting signing. Katie Robinson, really good pickup. My only issue with Villa is that they've lost Van Domselaar. And while I think D'Angelo's a good goalkeeper, Van Domselaar did keep them in games at times last season. She did make some really important saves. I have doubts about D'Angelo's ability to pull off the same saves, to get them out of the same holes. So to that extent, I think that Aston Villa will concede a few more, but I also think they'll score a few more, so it'll cancel itself out in a way. So I think they'll be 7th again.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Into the top half then, and in 6th, I have gone for Tottenham. I really like Tottenham. I think they look like a good side, and yes, they've lost Clinton, and yes, they've lost Blease, but they've got Hayley Raso. I think Vinberg will have a really strong campaign. I mean, again, if you've been on this channel for the last few weeks, I've been talking about Matilda Vinberg. She's in my fantasy WSL team. I really hope she has a good season, and then I can sit here and just say I told you so, because I really do. I've got high hopes for her this campaign. I think Tottenham, to be honest, 6th isn't a criticism of them. It's just the fact that I think the top 5 are just better on their day. But I think it'll be a decent season. I think, again, like it was last season, it'll be tight between 4th, 5th and 6th. And I think, again, they'll just be 1 or 2 points off being, there'll be 2. They could be 2 points off 4th, and suddenly that's 2 points from looking at an incredible season. So I think Tottenham will be very competitive this season.
Fair enough. In 6th place, I've gone for Liverpool. I think it's been a summer where they've not really made huge improvements. They've not really done much, to be fair. They've held on to their good players. Their defence is pretty much the same as it was last season. Their attack is pretty much the same. They've made a few additions here and there, but nothing groundbreaking. It's been okay business from Liverpool. They've not really lost anyone important. They've not really signed anyone important. They added Gemma Evans, who I think will be a good bit of cover, but yeah, not a very exciting transfer window from Liverpool. Not a terrible thing, though. They will probably just settle into their season nicely. They did well last year to get into 4th place, so this is a drop-off, but I think it's more that the teams around them have improved rather than that they have...
Yeah.
Because they've not really gone anywhere, and if you stand still in football, you tend to go backwards.
Yeah.
So I don't think they've done enough this summer, but they have got young players like Mia Enderby and Hervinger who are developing really nicely. I think sometimes defensively they got a little bit fortunate last season. I think of the Chelsea game where if Chelsea had just been had a little bit more control, they would have won that game. Because Liverpool were so open defensively and they hit well on the counter-attack, but they were still so open defensively. They conceded 3 goals in that match.
Yeah.
I think there were too many times like that last season where their defence should have been punished. I think of Arsenal on the opening day of the season. They won that game 1-0 and Rachel Laws was fantastic, don't get me wrong. But if Alessia Russo had turned up with her shooting boots on that day, she would have had a hat-trick. So I think that there are games like that where they do just get a little bit lucky, and I think last season they got on the right side of that luck like most of the time. I think they might even it out a little bit more this season. I do think that they need to be a little bit more defensively solid, but I'm sure Matt Beard will be very much aware of that because they were a little bit open. But yeah, I think overall they're still a good team. I just think they're going to drop off relative to the teams around them.
You've got them dropping to 6th. I've got Liverpool dropping to 5th. I agree. I think defensively they just concede too many goals, and there's too many times where they concede 1 and then they just fall apart. I think the City at home last season, City scored 1 and then they were 3-0 up suddenly, and it was a bit like, well, how's that happened?
Game 7-0.
Yeah, that did. Yeah, that game got really nasty as well for Liverpool. I think the one thing that will keep them in fifth will be goals. I know Enderby and obviously new signing Olivia Smith are young, but I think they've got enough talent and quality in them to find the back of the net more often than the like. And I think you've still got Haug in there who is a good striker. She can, get used to life in the WSL.
Very good hold-up play.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Liverpool's goals will keep them in the top half. I really do. And I think I would say watch Olivia Smith because I think she's going to have a really good campaign.
Oh, fair enough. Bold words. Right. The team I think are going to have a very good campaign that I think a lot of people will have forgotten that I've put them up here. Leicester City.
Wow.
You put them 9th. I've said they're going to finish 5th in the WSL this season. Now, I might be going mental. That is a very good explanation for this. But I've got a lot of belief. And Amandine Mikel, she's got me under her spell. Leicester going to win the WSL. I think they're going to do very well this season. They've got a lot of good players at their disposal. I think that holding on to Jutta Rantala, who was one of the best players in the WSL last campaign, is incredible. I think Noemi Mouchon's going to come in and have a really good campaign as well. I think there's a lot to be positive about for Leicester fans. Now, maybe I've overshot them putting them 5th, but this is what predictions are for. I don't predict things to play it safe, to put teams in where they were last season. I think Leicester are going to have a good campaign, and I think they will be able to climb through the table. I think that yes, they've got a new manager at the helm in Mikel, there's also, turbulence at Aston Villa with a lot of movement. With Tottenham, they've made a few signs. With Liverpool, they've sort of stood still. And I think Leicester will take advantage of that and be able to climb the table. I think they've got a tough first 2 matches of the season, but after that, they've got a run of games they can really build on. If they do get something from the first 2 games, really positive stuff. So I think there's lots to be positive about. I think Mikel's a very good manager. I think Leicester have made good moves in the window. I think they're primed for a good season.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Top 4 then, and 4th I have gone for Manchester United. I think they will be in for a carbon copy of last campaign, probably without the FA Cup win though. I think it'll be another season where they rely on individual quality to get them through. I think I don't think United will play very well, but Letitia will hold them up defensively, and they've brought in Janssen to help there. So defensively, they've got the quality. You've now got Clinton, Toon, Turland to bolster the attack that was already pretty decent last season. I think United are in for another a really not it's hard. I think it will be disappointing because they're outside the top 3. It'll be another season without European football. It will be another season that will probably not have a trophy in it. I'm expecting just a bit of a dull season for United. They're going to be in a fight with Liverpool and Tottenham once again. This time they are going to finish 4th, but again, I think it will be individuals that get them there.
I think they're going to win every game 5-4, and that's why I've put Manchester United 4th. I can't really see them being any higher, but I think the quality in that attack is too much to ignore. I think tactically they're still not very good. I don't think Mark Skinner is very good at his job, but there is no way an attack of Mallard, Turland, Toon, Miyazawa, Clinton. It's endless. Bizet now as well. There's no way that attack doesn't score goals this season. So I think they will just win every game like 5-4. They're so open defensively. I don't know what they're doing with their midfield makeup this season because they haven't got many midfielders. I don't think Fallon Tullis-Joyce is all that good a goalkeeper, but we will see. I hope she proves me wrong, but we'll see. I just think they're going to have another season where they are relying on individual quality, but because they have really good players, they can afford to do that. Yeah. And I think in that regard, they'll be okay. And I think they've just, Turland's a fantastic signing. Bizet's a really good signing. I think those two will link up well. I think they'll get enough goals for Manchester United to just win matches when they should. I still don't think that they'll be able to compete tactically with Chelsea, with Arsenal, with Man City. I think those 3 are too far off them. And even in the games against your Liverpools, your Tottenhams, your Leicesters, your Villas, I think they'll struggle. But they do just have, if the game is on knife edge, they do have those difference makers that I think will put the ball in the back of the net. And in that regard, that's why I think they'll win.
Yeah, top 3 then, the big 3. This is where it gets really tasty for me. Third, I have gone for Manchester City. I think they will have a drop-off from last season. I think it's been an interesting summer. I don't think they've done any... obviously I know they've bought in Miedemar, but I'm very interested to see how that plays out and how they're going to use her and Shaw. Apart from that, they haven't done much to excite me. They've just signed loads of Japanese players. I don't really understand why. They've bought goalkeepers as well. It's been a very weird window for City. I think Yeah, I feel that I don't see them replicating what they did last season. I don't think you... And that is why they'll be so frustrated they didn't win the league last year, because I don't think they can have a season that good again. I don't. I just don't think they've got it in them. I think big players will underperform, as we'll get onto later. I just don't think City have got it in them to have another really good campaign, and I think the teams that are put above them have had better windows, have looked better, and are going to really improve this season.
Yeah, I mean, they struggled to beat Arsenal last season. They didn't beat Arsenal last season when they were arguably a worse side than they are now. So what points them beating them this season? Third place, I've got Man City as well. Yeah. I just, as you say, I think that they are... The transfer business this summer they've not really done anything. Miedemar's an interesting one, but if they are going to use her as an attacking midfielder, I think they'll have the same issues Arsenal had, in that she isn't an attacking midfielder. I don't know how many managers need to try this experiment before we all know Miedemar's not an attacking midfielder. I think that last season they relied way too heavily on Khadija Shaw, and I don't think she's going to score 21 goals again. No. She might get to 20, but 21 never. So how many goals has Khadija Shaw got to score before City win the league? 50? Yeah. Who knows? But if 21's not enough, I'm not sure what is. I don't think she'll be able to carry them through games as consistently as she did last season. I think that there are teams now like Man United, like Leicester, who I think are going to win every match at this rate, like Liverpool, who will be able to take points off City, and I just don't see where City have improved massively. I think their depth is probably worse now, because yes, they've signed good young players to replace the likes of Morgan and co, but when they are rotating, it's going to be youngsters who haven't got a load of WSL experience, rather than players who are very experienced in the WSL. It feels very much like they lost the title last season and are now realising they're probably not going to win it this season and are preparing for future years. But I don't get it. I thought this is the year to strike. This is the year to go big on the transfers. Go and buy players who will take you from being in the title race to being clear favourites. But they're not. And you look at the business done by Chelsea and Arsenal, and I think Arsenal have leapfrogged them and Chelsea have pulled away. Yeah. So, I don't think City have done enough this window. I think they'll be third. Yeah.
Top two then. Second, I have gone for Arsenal. I think this will be a very, I'm expecting a really strong campaign from Arsenal. I think their two problems last season were the goalkeeper and in forward areas. They've brought in a world-class goalkeeper. I think Van Domselaar is an incredible keeper, and she will make the saves that Arsenal need her to. I think defensively they looked brilliant last season. We know that midfield makeup is also strong. The one thing that let them down as well was forward areas. What have they gone and done? They've brought in Calente, one of the best wingers in the world. They've brought in Rosa Kafai, one of the most promising attackers in the world. Ford has looked brilliant in pre-season and in the UWSL qualifiers, and when that all comes together, suddenly players like Russo will start to fire, and when Beth Mead can find her A game again, and then suddenly Arsenal are firing. And that's the thing, Arsenal didn't score enough last year. I look at the players they've brought in, I look at the players they have already that weren't in form. I think they're going to find goals. The reason I haven't had them to win the league is just because I just think Chelsea are one step ahead, as they usually are. But I think it'll be very, very close. I mean, it probably won't go down to goal difference again like it did last year, but I think Arsenal will be right there until the very end with Chelsea. But I think it'll be a very, very positive season for the Gunners.
Yeah, fair enough. I concur. In second, I've also gone Arsenal. The thing is, on paper, everything they've done this window is very good. But from watching their Champions League games so far, and of course this goes out after the Herken game, so if Herken batter them 8-0, or if Arsenal won 8-0, then it will tell a lot more. But I think that Arsenal haven't shown enough yet to me that they are right up there. I think they'll be better than City this season, which worries me that Chelsea might walk the league. Not in this. Obviously, would love to see that happen as a Chelsea fan, but for competitiveness of the WSL, we want to see a close title fight. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I don't think they've been. There's still things tactically that just aren't working out yet. I still think they lack a world-class defensive midfielder. That's not really on them. That's on Barcelona being mental, because they bid 1.1 million for Kira Walsh with 1 year left in their contract. Would have been a world record-breaking transfer fee by quite a distance, and Barcelona turned it down. I don't know why. I really don't get it, because you'd think with that sort of fee, with only a year left on her contract, Barcelona would either be able to find someone in the remaining 10 hours of the window, or just put Patrick Ayaro there for a season. that's not going to impact their chances of winning the Liga F at all. It might hamper their chances slightly of winning the UWCL. Yeah. I didn't understand that, but I think if they'd got Walsh, I think it'd be really close to that title fight. Instead, I think, Arsenal second.
Yeah, and then obviously champions Chelsea, I think it will be close. It will be very close between them and Arsenal, but Chelsea, there's just an inevitability about them. And I think with Sonia Bonpastor, it's, a world-class manager. I'm not obviously Emma Hayes, but I'm saying they've replaced an elite manager with an elite manager. The squad has got stronger. If anything, it's been a really good window. They've brought in world-class players. I just think Chelsea will be one step ahead. I think it'll be so close between them and Arsenal. The difference will be is over 90 minutes. If you ask me who's going to win, Chelsea or Arsenal, I think Chelsea have got it. I just think when they play each other, Chelsea will beat them, and that'll be the difference in the game. Then one of them might be a draw, but for me, Chelsea will beat Arsenal at some point this season. That'll be the difference between champions and second. But for me, it'll be such a good season, such a close season. But Chelsea, I just don't see anyone stopping them at the moment.
Yeah, I completely agree. My champions for the WSL 24-25 season are Chelsea. I am going to make an outrageous statement here.
Oh.
I think they'll go invincible. I think they're going to go invincible.
Wow.
Because I think Bonpastor's going to come in and they're going to play truly incredible football. You can clip this up. There'll be Arsenal fans already getting their clipping tools out, editing this up, so that at the end of the season they can, or in a few weeks' time if Chelsea lose, can use it. But the only issue I have with that prediction is that Chelsea were going to be pushing for the UWCL this season. But I think they've got the quality to win or draw every game. As we famously know, to go invincible, all you've got to do is draw half the games in the season and win the rest. So I just think, looking at that squad quality, I don't see what team on their day beats them. I don't think, City aren't better than they were last season, and Chelsea have improved. Arsenal have improved, but it's not showing on the pitch yet. I just think Chelsea are in a really good position.
Yeah.
I think they're in a really good position right now. I think Bonpastor is arguably the best manager in Europe now, with Geraldes off in America. I don't see where it goes wrong for Chelsea this season. Yeah. Unless there's loads of injuries, but even then, Chelsea have got such good depth. I think they're in such a strong position. Yeah. So I think they'll go invincible this year. And you feel free to clip that up. And I'm sure if Chelsea drop points at some point this season, I'll see that mentioned to me. But
join us live on Friday night when Villa are 1-0 up at Chelsea.
And I was like, no worry. Right, let's get into some fun predictions then. The table, we went quite similar there. Top and bottom, we were quite similar. In the middle, I shook it up by just bunning Leicester up there. But let's get into some other predictions then. Let's go Golden Boot to start with. Who's going to win the Golden Boot this season?
I'm going for Alessia Russo. I'm fully believing in this. I know. Khadija Shaw does still exist, but I'm fully believing in Arsenal's attack firing, and I think Russo will deliver. Kia Shaw might go on holiday for like 2 months or something. I don't know. I'm backing Russo.
No prizes for guessing who I'm going for. It's, of course, Khadija Shaw, because I've watched football before. She just scores goals. Unless she gets a metatarsal injury or something on match week 1, she's going to score a hell of a lot of goals this season. 21 in last campaign. I don't think she'll hit the lofty heights of 21 again, but no one hit more than 13 other than Khadija Shaw, who hit 21. It is absurd how good she is. I think she'll probably be slightly lower than last season, but as I said, I don't think anyone's going to match her. She's so good, such a good player. It's a real shame, but yeah, I think she'll take the Golden Boot.
Okay, fair enough. Each their own.
Alessia Russo, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm backing Russo. Assists.
Who have you gone for?
I've gone for Guro Reiten. I think this year is Guro's year. Last year was a tough year. She didn't really get going, and I don't mean she didn't have a bad season. But for me, we know how good Guro Reiten on her day is one of the best wingers in the world. I want to see that Guro Reiten back. I think she will get the most assists, and she'll be one of the reasons that Chelsea do win the title, because she's going to, she can be one of the most deadly wingers, most creative wingers in the world, and I really hope we see that again. So I've gone Guro Reiten as the top assister, I think you call it.
Yeah, top assister. If Guro Reiten plays like she did in the last 2 games of last season, all throughout this WSL campaign, Chelsea will win everything, because she is unstoppable in that form. The Bristol City game and the Manchester United game at the end of last season, she was absolutely phenomenal in both those matches. As I say, if she plays like that, no one can stop her.
Yeah.
So I think Chelsea would be a really good stage. But I'll be intrigued to see. Top assists, I've got Niamh Charles. She was second on it last season with 6. I think she'll go even higher this year. I think that a lot of games last season, Chelsea relied on their wingers to come up with the goals, but I think with Ramirez from the start of the season, with Beaver Jones potentially playing through the middle, with Sam Kerr coming back at some point this season, there's going to be a lot of players in the box to aim for, and I think Niamh Charles is the player that's going to pick them out. Yeah, no, that's fair. Player of the season then. I don't know how we judge this because the WFA one comes out really late, so we'll determine when we do our review of our predictions at the end of the season, we'll just decide it. This is maybe it's not if it's just our player of the season. Who we think will be your player of the season. We can judge it at the end of the year if we got it right. I've gone Lauren James. I mean, I've also gone Lauren James. I think it's one of those. I don't think she's going to be top goal scorer, top assister, but what she does is she could be like second in both of them. Yeah. So she might not score 21 goals, or like mental, but she might score 12 goals, get 10 assists, not win any of those awards, but still have a phenomenal season. She's a different. What do you say, Lauren James? She's extraordinary. She's exceptional. One of the best. Sorry, Lauren James getting 10 assists and she's not winning top assister. I'm not expecting loads of assists. Okay. Yeah, top assist last season finished on 7. Okay. It was an example. Okay. It was an example. I didn't really think through. I've got Lauren James because she's incredible. Yeah. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant player is Lauren James. So yeah, I think she'll be up there again for that. Young player of the season then, who have you gone for? I've gone for Rosa Kafai. Again, very similar to my Russo shout for Golden Boot. I think Kafai will deliver. I think Arsenal's attack is going to be one of the deadliest in the league. Well, that's probably the second behind Chelsea. I think she's got a really, really good campaign. I think she's a phenomenal player. If she gets the game time, she will deliver. Yeah, that's my fear with Kafai. I think that if there is one man who is going to ruin her, it is Jonas Eidevall. Yeah. So I'm not sure about her minutes this season. We've already seen Manon play the game against Rangers and the game against Rosenborg. So I think there'll be a lot of competition there. I think maybe by the end of the season, Kafai will nail down that spot, but at least to start the season, there's going to be a lot of competition for minutes there. A young player of the season, I've gone Lexi Potter. I think that Crystal Palace will be very good this year, and I think she'll be a large part of that. We saw how integral she was to their promotion push last season, the title-winning campaign in the Women's Championship. I think they'll do that again. Not like win the league, but I think they'll be very good. I think she'll do it again. Yeah, back-to-back titles. But yeah, I think Lexi Potter, a very good player. And she'll win the Young Player of the Season. Yeah, fair enough. Best signing of the season. I've gone Rosa Kafai. It makes sense. She's going to win Young Player of the Season because she's good, and because of that, she'll be the best signing. Again, as I said, similarly, she's going to have a really, really strong campaign. Yeah, fair enough. Best signing, I have gone Leicester City's because I've got to at this point. I've been backing them so much. Noemi Mouchon. Yeah, I think she's a very exciting signing. I think that bringing in a striker who will finish off the chances they create will be very helpful. If her and Rantala can fire on a consistent basis, it's going to be very difficult to stop City for Leicester scoring next season. So, yeah, I think Mouchon, very exciting transfer. And, yeah, obviously Mikel knows how she plays. I think it's going to fit like a glove. Yeah, no, fair enough. Worst signing then, and this is one of my 2 shouts, which means City are going to struggle next season. I've gone Vivian Miedema. I don't think it's going to work. I really don't. Probably because Gareth Southgate's going to use her as a midfielder. Exactly. Again. I just don't think Miedema's going to work at City. I don't think she'll play well, and it'll be a really disappointing move. It looks like such a smart bit of business to go, sign one of the best strikers in the WSL for free. I just don't think she's going to deliver. I don't think it's going to work out. Fair enough. I'm just going to cover this when I say this. Lucy Bronze. Oh, and that's going to be controversial, but I want her to succeed, but watching her last season, she's not as quick as she used to be, and the problem is she gets caught out of position too often, and she can't rely on her pace to get her back into position. So at times there can be gaps appear because she has gone for a walk, and I do worry about that. And I think that if that happens too often, Bonpastor is just going to get frustrated with her. He's just going to hook her and play Parasay, and we might get to the back half of the season. And if Chelsea compete for Champions League titles and want to win the WSL and they need to grind out results, I think she'd rather play someone she trusts in that role than Bronze, who can get caught too high, who has lost a yard of pace. So I like Lucy Bronze as a player. I think that she's obviously really popular as well, and obviously a Lioness, very successful player. But I do just think she's lost a yard or two, and at 32, 33 now, I just think she's going to have a bit of a difficult season. I don't think she'll prove to be a fantastic signing. Fair enough.
Most improved then.
This is someone that was in the league last season, has stayed at the same club, so not a transfer, but we think will improve this campaign. Who have you gone for?
For me, this was an obvious one. I've gone Caitlin Ford. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm really backing the Arsenal attack to deliver this season. If not, I'm going to be so wrong in my predictions. But yeah, I think Ford had a really tough campaign last season. But, you know, I know it was against Rangers, but she just looked back, you know, she looked so sharp. She looked so, you know, again, it looked like she wanted to play football again. It looked like she wanted to be back on the pitch, back scoring goals, and she was brilliant. She was so deadly in that game. And I think if she can take this pre-WSL season form into the season, then I think she will really deliver for Arsenal. And again, I think the link up between her, Russo, Kafai, Calorente, Mead is going to be really strong. So a big season for Ford, hopefully.
Yeah, fair enough. Most improved, I've gone for Jessica Naz. I think that there is still... I think she was very good last year, but there's still room to grow. And though I'm putting Tottenham so low, I think regardless of that, she will play really well. She is a very good player. And yeah, obviously she'll have increased responsibility now that Clinton's gone, now that Bise's gone. And I think she'll thrive in that. She can make that left-hand side her own and really start to blossom this campaign. So I think she'll improve even further.
And then, biggest flop, I have gone for Chloe Kelly. I think she had a terrible end of the season last season.
You're not going to be a popular man with that
I'm not.
statement.
I know I'm not, but she ended the season last season horribly, and I just think this City I think City are going to drop off. And as I said with Miedemar, I don't think the big names are going to deliver. I don't think Kelly's going to deliver the numbers that she needs to. I don't think Miedemar's going to deliver. I don't think Shaw is going to score as many goals as she did last year. I think City and attacking areas will struggle, and for me, I think Kelly will have a really disappointing campaign. I hope not, because I like Chloe Kelly and she's brilliant for England, but I don't see it happening.
Well, if you've not upset enough of the England fans with that statement, I'm going to make sure that entire fan base hates us. Now, Ella Toone.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I don't know if with Toone, we spoke about this before, but last season she had moments that were really quality, but for me, she's never had any competition for her spot in the Manchester United team. With Clinton and Miyazawa there now, and both, you know, really coming to their own as players, I just worry that if Toone's performance levels aren't there, she will be usurped. You know, at some point, it's got to go, well, you know what, you're not performing in their team. Miyazawa's got to play in that role. So I just worry she's not going to be up, you know, still not going to be up to the standard. We've not seen her perform without Alessia Russo to a high standard. I know she scored that goal in the FA Cup final, but one wonder goal for me doesn't set apart from what was a very mediocre season. I think that I'm not saying she's going to have a huge drop off. I think that the problem is, though, the expectation is so high with Toone.
Yeah.
I think that whatever, you know, if she doesn't improve massively this season, it's going to be another flop season. So
fair enough.
That's why I put her in there. I think it is a bit harsh, but I don't see her performing particularly well this campaign.
Fair enough.
I think the other players around her will overshadow her in that United attack. So yeah, she won't be relied upon as heavily. So yeah. Anyway, that is everything for our predictions video. I'm sure there's going to be some statements in there, some comments that you hugely disagree with, but do let us know in the comments down below. And of course, leave your full predictions in the comments, and I'll make sure to reply to all of them saying you're wrong, and Leicester are going to definitely finish 5th. So look out for all of those. If you have enjoyed, there'll be another video on screen now where we tell you who not to pick in Fantasy WSL based on who our teams are. So make sure to go and give that a watch. But that is everything from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.